Hi, this is Frida. Welcome to my channel. Today I will be demonstrating how to knit the Jingle Bell Stitch. Doesn't this look nice? Okay, I have a picture of a finished project on my laptop, which I will show you. This is how it looks like. It's knit with rayon yarn, and I will show you. This is how it looks like. So the jingle bells goes on top of each other, just to show you. So they go on top of each other, just like this on each jingle bell. So for this tutorial, I'll be knitting with acrylic yarn. So I just did one row, well, one jingle bell, and then it's a repeat. So you just go on top of each other, and you can knit anything with this stitch if you wish. You can make baby cardigans, cardigans for adults, sweaters, baby blankets, anything that you want to. Or even you can knit it a top down and then make it like this, the jingle bells. And then even make something on these edges. You can create, you can use your own imagination. So let's get started on how to knit the Jingle Bell stitch. For this tutorial, I will be knitting with this yarn. Years ago I have bought it from Sears for $1.69. It is Sport DK, and it is 50 gram of yarn, and it says use 4mm knitting needles, which I will be using. So I'm pulling up the yarn from here. Burnout. Yeah, so this is an old yarn that I had in my stash. Okay, so for this stitch we need to cast on multiple of 4. Plus, I am going to be knitting borders on each side. So, I need to cast on total of 48 stitches. 6 stitches would be the border, and 6 stitches for on both sides. I am going to make a border, and I'm just casting on just like this. So I'll meet you at the end. I have cast on total of 48 stitches, and this is the front right side of the work, and this is the wrong side of the work. Again, if the yarn, I have mentioned this several times, if the yarn is facing your left side, that means this is the right side of the work. So what we're going to do is we're going to be making total of, it depends on what you're making. I am planning to create a baby cardigan out of this, or a baby sweater, and I will do the tutorial on how to make this cardigan using this stitch, this pattern, the stitch. And first I wanted to show how it's done, because I'm planning to make myself a cardigan or a vest. Let's see. Well, as soon as I find a suitable yarn that I have in my stash, I just want to show you, look at the projects that I am working. It's crazy. I must have over 20. I started this because I bought this yarn in 2011. It's superwash merino wool, and I said I have to first start it. And I am still knitting my son's sweater. It's over there. I'm knitting the last sleeve. It's crazy. So I said to myself, if I start, then I will continue knitting or crocheting, or else it's sitting, the yarn is sitting in my containers and it's doing nothing. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you. It's crazy, but it's true. So what you need to do is you need to knit about, for this one I'm going to knit about 6, let me do 3 ridges and I will come back. To do the ridges, you either purl yarn on the front or both sides, wrong side and right side, or you do a knit stitch yarn on the back on both sides that to create this lovely purl stitch that will show. So continue knitting, a couple of ridges, it depends on what you're knitting, and I will come back to start the stitch on the right side of the work. I have knit total of 3 ridges, and I'm thinking this would be enough for a baby cardigan that I'm starting. If you want to continue knit, you can knit as many ridges as you want. What I did is I just went 6 rows and I created these ridges. So this is how you count them. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so to start the stitch, I just knit the 6 stitches, yarn on the front, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding 8 stitches. Okay, I will show you 2 ways to do this. The easiest way is to just go like this, 1, 2, just twist it, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is one way to add stitches. And for the 4 stitches, I'm just going to be knitting yarn on the front, purlwise. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, we're going to be adding 8 stitches, and this is another way I do it. I like this way. 1, I knit and I put the stitch back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the last one is 8. Just like this. This is how I do it. And I just put it back and I turn my work and I continue knitting the 4 stitches. This is one, and this is another way to add stitches. It's like making buttonholes, but you're adding more stitches to it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we add another 8 more stitches. So continue continue knitting like this all the way to the end. I will meet you at the last part. Okay, I'm at the last, and I'm going to be adding the first way that I showed you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. The reason I'm showing you 2 ways to show you which one is way better to knit. And then I'm going to be knitting yarn on the front. 3. Well, I'm going to be knitting the remaining, well, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I have 2, 4, 6 stitches, so I'm going to add 4 more. 8 more stitches the way that I showed you earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the last one, 8, just like this. Okay, so we're done. And this is all to it. So this is the right side of the work, and the wrong side of the work, we're just gonna knit our knit them on the yarn on the front. Just a regular knit stitch. Yarn on the front though, purlwise, as you're knitting your wrong side of the work, just like this. So continue, and I'll meet you at the end to knit the second row of the stitch. But I wanted to show you, okay, see how it gets longer. Just wanted to show you, but it doesn't stretch. See? It does not stretch, so that's a good thing. This is the one that I prefer. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is the one that I don't prefer, that I said. See, it gets longer. Well, either way, it's the same. When you knit it, it picks up. So either way you can do, whichever you like. I wanted to show you 2 ways to add stitches. Just like this. Okay, so continue knitting and I'll meet you at the other end. Okay, so I'm back. I knitted the wrong side of the work, and I am just starting the 3rd row to create the stitch. So I knitted 6 purl stitches, as this is the border, and we're going to be decreasing just like this. Slide the stitch to the other, then knit this yarn on the back and continue knitting. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have a total of 5 so far. Remember, we had 8 stitches. Okay, and then we're gonna slide this one, same as this one. We're decreasing to create that bell look. So we have total 2, 4, 6 stitches. So we increased 2 stitches here. And we're just gonna knit these yarn on the front, just like this. Okay, so 3 and 4. And we're just gonna repeat what we did. Slide, knit that one, and then knit the remaining 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 5, and then we're decreasing, and we have 6. This is all to it. So continue knitting like this all the way to the end, and when you do your back, you just knit what you see purlwise. Knit yarn on the front, and I'll meet you for 5th. We're going to be knitting the 5th row of the bell stitch. This is the 5th row, and this is how it looks like so far. Okay, so we're going to be doing the decrease again. I have knitted the 6 stitches, and again, this is how we decrease. And knit that stitch, yarn on the back, and 1, 2, and decrease this. So we should have a total of 4 stitches. And then knit the remaining yarn on the front, 4 stitches that are in the middle. And again we decrease the bell, knit that stitch, knit 1, and then again decrease, and knit that stitch as well. So we have total of, oops, I did it wrong, sorry. Should be 4 stitches because we're losing 2 stitches. So go back and grab that. Grab that. I apologize. Okay, knit the stitch. So we have 3, and then decrease this one, and then we have 4, just like this. And then knit the remaining 5, and you just do as you just repeat what we did. And this is all to it. So continue knitting all the way to the end, knit the back as to purl the wrong side, and I will meet you, I think 7th, on the 7th row. And this is how the bell looks like so far. Okay, so I'm back and we're decreasing. I knitted the 6 stitches at the beginning again, and then I'm going to be knitting this, and then remember we had 4 stitches. We started with 8, we went down to 6. From 6 we went down to 4. Now we're going to go down to 2. So we knitted the 1, and we're going to knit this one, and I'm just going to knit this one. So we have 2, just like this. So we knit yarn on the front, 4 stitches, and then we decrease, and we knit that one, and then we decrease, and we knit this one. So we have 2, and this is how our bells look like. Isn't this cute? So continue knitting all the way to the end and knit the back. This is what you see. You knit, and then I will show you the last decrease. Well, we're done actually, yeah. And we're going to be creating the second bell on top of this one, but I will show you how to get rid of this one stitch. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is going to be the last row, and I am going to be decreasing just like this. And I am going to be knitting this stitch, or yeah, Jingle Bells. I was just thinking, yeah, well, I'm going to continue. So this would be the, you know, when you hold the bell and you jingle it, jingle, jingle, jingle. And then, so I'm going to knit 1 more row to create this lovely stitch. And then on the following, when we come back, we're going to be making another jingle bell on top of this. So it's just going to be a repeat what we did on row 1. But before we do that, we need to get rid of this stitch. So I will come back to show you how to get rid of that stitch. So continue knitting, and I'll be back to show you how to get rid of that 1 extra stitch that we have. And this is how you knit the bell. Jingle bell, jingle bell. I'll be right back. Okay, so I am done, and I am going to make the second jingle bell. But before we need to get rid of this, we're just going to go just like this, and ta-da, it's done. So we're just going to be repeating what we repeated, we did on the row 1 to create the stitch. So this is all to it. So you can go back and continue following what I showed you earlier on how to do the bell. And when you come here, you just get rid of this stitch by putting this yarn on, this stitch on this, and that's how you get rid of that stitch. So I hope you liked this tutorial. It was very easy and simple to show, and it looks lovely. It gives you that 3D effect look. You can even do a top while I was knitting this. You can make baby blankets for this one too. And you can, what you can do is you can knit it, which I love to make a top-down cardigan for babies. You can even make it like this. Just like this. And this is how you can make a, or you can even sew little things on top of this to make different looks. So the idea is from me, and you can do whichever you like. So please do not forget to subscribe and share with your family and your friends, and happy knitting!